You are tapped in with Caden. Keyshawn Davis knocks out Gustavo Lemos to become boxing's newest superstar. So in this video, I'm going to give you reasons why I believe Keyshawn Davis has become boxing's newest superstar after knocking out Gustavo Lemos in the second round. So one of the main reasons is during this fight, Keyshawn Davis showed the ability to handle the pressure of the big moment. So we've seen so many fighters crumble under the big moment. We've seen it from Anthony Joshua twice, and I'm an Anthony Joshua fan. Before you go running in the comment section trying to take what I'm saying personally as if I'm dissing you, you can go check the tapes. But there have been times where I felt like the moment got too big for Anthony Joshua, like at Madison Square Garden when he fought Andy Ruiz, and most recently his fight against Daniel Dubois. I felt like the moment got to him and he didn't perform at his best. Last night, what we saw with Keyshawn Davis was they had access to him up until the moment he walked into the ring. They were checking in with him while he was jumping rope. You had everyone in the locker room. They checked in with him right before he walked out to the ring. It was a family affair. His two brothers were on the card. His sisters were singing the national anthem. It was clearly a coronation. It was clearly to announce himself to his hometown fans, which was another added boost, another hint of pressure because he was fighting in front of his hometown fans. And we've seen homecomings get spoiled several times in the sport of boxing. So you had the pressure of it being a homecoming. You had the pressure of it being a family affair. You had the pressure of this man not even be able to have privacy during his preparation for the fight. They had cameras all in his dressing room, and he even gave them interviews as he was jumping rope, as he was putting on his outfit to go to the ring. He spoke to them immediately before he went to the ring. So there was a lot of pressure on Keyshawn Davis, because if Keyshawn Davis lost, or even if he had a shaky performance like Abdullah Mason on that undercard, people were going to be ready to say he was overrated and he wasn't who he was hyped up to be. You see, Abdullah Mason on that undercard, he got dropped in the first round. He got rocked by Vasquez, a guy he was supposed to steamroll. This was supposed to be another showcase. He knocked out his last 5 opponents, and actually he's knocked out his last 6 opponents because he got up off the deck and he was able to recover and win. But maybe, perhaps, if I think it's relevant, I'll get back to that fight. But Keyshawn Davis had all this pressure on him, way more pressure than Abdullah Mason, way more pressure than his brothers, and way more pressures than his sisters did to sing the national anthem, which they all showed up and performed. So salute to the Davis family for the family affair in their hometown. But Keyshawn Davis showed that the pressure of the moment was not too big for him. That's important for a superstar. You got to think about Floyd Mayweather. All the big fights we've seen Floyd in, he always seems so calm. Sometimes I felt like I was more nervous about the fight than Floyd. He was just ready to step in the ring and perform. You got that feeling from a Keyshawn Davis when he was walking to the ring. He looked the part. He gave access. He did everything. Check for him. That was superstar. I was like, he gave the impression. He gave the appearance that he was a superstar. So he passed that part with flying colors. The other thing, he stayed composed and let the KO come to him. Now, see, Abdullah Mason, I feel like got in that ring, and Abdullah Mason tried to press for the knockout. He wanted to go in there and steal the show. He wanted people to be talking about Abdullah Mason and the Mason 5 on the Davis brothers card. That's my takeaway, is he went in there trying to steal the show, and he got caught. I don't believe Vasquez is as good as Abdullah Mason. I don't think that Abdullah Mason is necessarily overrated. However, I do think now there are going to be question marks about his chin, because if you have a guy like Vasquez who's able to take advantage of your mistake and hurt you and drop you twice, you're going to have some of the heavy hitters in the division looking at Abdullah Mason like, if I touch you, you will not recover and you will not make it out of the fight. But the point is, I felt like he got caught pressing. He got caught trying to force a knockout. In Keyshawn Davis's case, he's the star of the show. Everyone's there. He's headlining, hometown, family affair, and he stepped in the ring and he let the fight come to him. He did what he was supposed to do: read and react, hit and not get hit. When the opportunity came, he landed a vicious counter and he hurt Lemos. And once he hurt Lemos, he tested him and saw that he was not fully recovered, got him out of there. That was beautiful. So now he handled the pressure like a superstar. He performed in the ring like a superstar. He showed boxing IQ, composure, let the fight come to him. Unlike an up-and-coming prospect who kept yelling, prospect of the year, prospect of the year. Nah, Keyshawn Davis went in there and showed the IQ. And remember, we're talking about an Olympic silver medalist. We're talking about someone who's been successful on the amateur scene. He stepped up and showed that his experience, his skill set, it all met at the perfect time, and he put on the perfect performance. The other thing, he did it against a fighter who didn't make weight. He did it against Gustavo Lemos, a fighter who gave Richardson Hitchens all he can handle. At the end of the fight with Richardson Hitchens looked nervous, and a lot of people weren't sure if he was going to get the decision, if he was going to win that fight. And he got the decision. There was no doubt who was the better fighter in the ring between Keyshawn Davis and Gustavo Lemos, because Gustavo Lemos wasn't even in Keyshawn Davis's class. But what made it more impressive was Keyshawn Davis actually made weight. Keyshawn Davis actually went through the strenuous dieting it takes, training, weakening your body, depleting your body. You know, everyone who watches boxing is familiar with the scene where you see these fighters on the scale sometimes and you're like, yo, bro, we need to move up to the next weight class because this doesn't look healthy and it looks dangerous, right? Keyshawn Davis made weight, and Gustavo Lemos didn't even try. He didn't even try. And the reason why you know he didn't try is because he wasn't out of shape in that ring. He had a six-pack in the ring, because even when you deplete yourself to make weight, you get to rehydrate, and sometimes you'll see someone the day of the weigh-in, they'll have a six-pack, and then at the fight, the six-pack is less pronounced than it was the day of the weigh-in. No, he didn't even try. So you got a guy who actually went about the business of being professional, depleting himself, going through the downsides that come with that, and a guy who didn't. Came in 6 pounds overweight. Keyshawn decided to keep the fight. Now, yes, he put a rehydration clause on him. And like I said, some people are going to try to make it seem like, oh, but he had a, nah, this is different. He didn't put a rehydration clause on someone who showed up and made weight. Someone showed up and they didn't make weight. And it's not only that this person didn't make weight, this person missed weight by 6 pounds. It wasn't like he missed it by a pound. He missed it by 2 pounds. Hell, Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, 3 pounds. No, double that. He missed it by 6. So smart people learn from the mistakes of others. And Keyshawn Davis was smart to put that rehydration clause on him, which really didn't matter because he walked into the ring at 155 pounds, which is junior middleweight. So you got to give Keyshawn Davis props for that second round knockout, because he did it to a good fighter. He did it to a fighter who proved himself against one of the other top fighters in the division, Richardson Hitchens, and he did it to a fighter who didn't make weight and who showed up 155 pounds on the night of the fight. And that's another thing that made him superstar status with his performance. And another reason that he became a superstar on that night is because the knockout went viral. Knockouts that go viral make people want to see you again. Think of even Jake Paul. Jake Paul is just some YouTuber who got into boxing occasionally, but what made him famous? When he put Nate Robinson to sleep. That video went viral. And from that moment on, everybody wanted to see what Jake Paul was going to do, and he kept delivering knockouts. He kept delivering viral moments. That's what made Jake Paul a superstar. It was the fact that he was giving us viral knockouts. Sometimes it's not the quality of the opponent, it's just how you finish them. Deontay Wilder's another one. Deontay Wilder gave viral knockouts. So even if people didn't watch Deontay Wilder's fights, they watched the knockouts on social media. They watched it on YouTube. That used to be what he claimed. He used to be like, yeah, people don't watch my fights because they don't go 12 rounds. But people watch. I'm the most watched fighter on social media platforms and on YouTube. I never fact checked it, but it's possible it's correct because people want to see the knockouts. So although people may not watch his fights, they're going to be familiar with his name because of the viral knockout. And so his knockout went viral. You saw it trending. You saw him up there on social media and people were talking about it. And you can see, so that's another reason why he elevated himself to superstar status. He has a viral knockout under his belt, and people are going to want to see him in his next fight. But here's the number one reason, the main reason, save the best reason for last, why Keyshawn Davis elevated himself into superstar status last night. He established himself as the opponent that people want to see Gervonta Tank Davis fight next. Keyshawn Davis put himself at the front of the line as the guy people want to see Gervonta Tank Davis fight next. Some people believe he will beat Tank based on the performance that he put in last night. And some people want to see Tank beat him because now people think that Keyshawn Davis can beat Tank. So you have the war between the fans, and that's all it takes to make a mega fight. Just like Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua. This is starting to build. Keyshawn Davis has his people now. A lot of them are people who already don't like Tank. So those same people are going to be rooting for Lamont Roach if that fight actually takes place. But the point is, Keyshawn Davis has now established himself as the front runner of the man people want to see fight Gervonta Tank Davis next. And when you do that, you inherit a lot of fans. They may be fair weather fans because if you lose, they're going to leave you. But Keyshawn Davis is now the David Benavidez to Tank's Canelo. So that's another reason why he emerged as a superstar last night. So I want to give a shout out to Keyshawn Davis. Salute to the Davis family. It was a great night for the family. And regardless of what happens in the future, they will always have that night where they all performed and they all knocked it out the park. And that's what life's about, making memories. So salute to the Davis family. Please stick around for the next video where I talk about whether or not Keyshawn Davis will actually get the opportunity to fight Gervonta Tank Davis next. It's Caden. I'm out. Listen, one, I'm in YouTube jail. You may not know this, but I made a video about sports washing, and a lot of features were taken away from my channel as a result of it. And I'm lucky that I could even make these videos today. But my ability to put out videos is limited. I can only put out a certain number of videos and everything. So what I'm saying to you is if you like this video, like, share, subscribe, because the more subs I get, it helps me get out. They're monitoring my page for the next 2 months. So hopefully I'll be able to do the other things like go live and stuff like that in the future. But please like, share, subscribe, leave a comment if you like this video. It's Caden. I'm out. Peace.